I don't think many people understand the Chainsmokers very well. And the truth is easy to miss. They're best known for #selfie and Closer, songs that seem to imbibe and encourage youthful foolishness. Plus, not a lot of DJs have respect for them musically, and they often play to trends. If you want to know the full extent of the world's hate for them, an Esquire Magazine article actually accused them of sexism, stealing musical tropes, and being the quote, Nickleback of EDM back in 2017. While I'll leave the music side of the discussion up to the musical experts, I want to talk about their lyrics, and I need to confess something. I don't hate the Chainsmokers lyrics. While their full album contained a lot of duds in the lines, "She wants to break up every night, then tries to F me back to life," what made me genuinely excited about the album was a detailed Facebook post they shared that explained the inspiration and ideas behind the lyrics for every song. The post is long lost to the Facebook algorithms and their intense posting schedule, but I've concluded something. The Chainsmokers don't always get very deep or create lyrics worth listening to, but they definitely try. And based on their Sick Boy EP songs, I think they're getting better at it. Sick Boy is about trying to be true to your art in 2018. You Owe Me is a response to criticism and asks if anyone ever thinks that maybe the band has dark or deep thoughts too. Everybody Hates Me is about worrying that everyone hates you. And in this series of 21 Pilots-esque lyrical subjects, Chainsmokers has released Somebody. While it at times feels like it's trying too hard to mean something, the intended sincerity and depth are apparent. In the chorus, Drew Love, a little known but perhaps rising singer, gives us the main themes of the song. He sings, "In the town full of fancy cars and crowded bars and supermodels, looks exactly the way it did inside my head." This song is sung from the perspective of someone who has dreamed of success and has achieved it. This person gave up the things I could live without, and now seems dependent on those things. Quote, "I need them now because they're all around me." But the central conclusion of the chorus is a renewed commitment to staying true to oneself. "Only thing that I can't afford is to lose myself trying to be somebody." This chorus runs counter to the typical narrative we get from pop music. Usually wealth, supermodels, and fancy bars are the pinnacle of success. Wealth and leisure give us the opportunity to be ourselves without restraint and to give freedom to all the urges we have inside. But the Chainsmokers and Drew Love take this a different direction. Instead of wealth being the ultimate goal, which they admit it was once, it is a threat to sincerity and authenticity. And in the verses, we hear a conversation between two parts of the narrator's mental state. Quote, "You should have known better than to listen to your heart again," and quote, "In my head I knew better." He's made a mistake and blames it on himself, notably not, quote, "on my faults." In fact, when he says, quote, "I won't blame it on my faults again," it's an interesting resolution to not make excuses. He realizes that he should have known better than to do what we find out to be a relationship that he realizes now he probably shouldn't have gotten into. And we find this out when he sings, "I know I should forget her." The latter half of each verse is a little bit more confusing when Taggart sings, quote, "I don't really like anybody, so don't tell me I'm like anybody else," and quote, "People change like the weather." It's difficult to connect these lines to a clear, concrete storyline, but to me, they speak of isolation, anger, and loneliness. Now, it could be easy to dismiss Somebody and other songs from Sick Boy as half-hearted or weak. Particularly vicious critics might even call them pretentious, but I don't think that's the case for 3 reasons. Number 1, we hear mentions of actual insecurities. Whether it's losing oneself or losing in love, the Chainsmokers let us know when something is going wrong. And these things going wrong may not be explained in a super eloquent way, but they are being admitted. Number 2, they provide genuine critique on culture. In Sick Boy, they attempt to identify characteristic flaws of different regions in the United States, and I think Closer, Paris, and #selfie also provide a form of critique in a slightly more unique way. Of course, the hint of sincerity in all of these is that Alex and Drew aren't just making fun of others and taking easy shots, they're also including themselves in what's being satired. I know I'm about to go too far here, but I think that they begin to approach the style of critique that F. Scott Fitzgerald realized in books like The Great Gatsby. The Chainsmokers seem to aspire to be the EDM millennial version of how Fitzgerald critiqued the jazz age. Not by calling it bad outright, but by indulging in its flaws to the extent that observers could begin to see exactly how messed up it was. Comment below if you want to see me make a video about that. Number 3, they give descriptions from their actual lives. In You Owe Me, they mention being critiqued, their friends and their own dark thoughts, and in Sick Boy, we hear about a love-hate relationship with social media, and they mention being a product of the internet in Everybody Hates Me, as well as dark thoughts that they're entertaining. I'm not saying the Chainsmokers are perfect, but they do convince me that they have a lot of potential, mostly because they do a few things that good lyric writers do. They get specific and they get honest. To summarize all that, to an extent, when the Chainsmokers tell me they feel something or they think something, I believe them. And that's the first step towards writing great lyrics. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this little critique of Somebody and the rest of all of these interesting songs from the Chainsmokers. Hope that you'll check out other explanations I've done of Chainsmokers songs. And if you like writing lyrics, I've got something big happening really soon, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll talk to you next time.